Hello friends, this week's project is a 1998 Toyota T-100 with a bad transmission. Mike, a friend of mine, has a T-100 with a 3400 engine. The interesting thing about this swap is that he is installing a 2000 to 2002 Tundra transmission, which he said is basically the same. That is not to say that there weren't some extra hoops he had to jump through, but in a world of tranny swaps, this is pretty much as easy as it gets. So I hope this video will help those with the same idea be prepared before doing the swap. The Tundra from 2000 to 2002 has an option for the same 3800 engine that the T-100 has, so Mike looked into it further and found that it is the same transmission as well. Mike did his due diligence and based upon all available measurements found the transmission to have the same case and tail housing and what appeared to be the same bell housing, as well as the same input shaft and tail shaft. So he bit the bullet and ordered a remanufactured one off eBay. In the course of research, inspection, and installation, he made note of all the differences and concerns with the swap, which I will share with you now. The first items are that the Tundra tranny has a deeper pan, and the dipstick tube moved to the passenger side, or right side of the car. Yeah, that's the dipstick tube. So on a T-100, it's on the driver's and on the passenger side on a Tundra, which is okay because there's plenty of room, at least at the T-100. Some sort of bracket or mount needs to be made or taken from a Tundra. That there's an extra hole there where it more likely goes to, because you can bend it over and line it up. It's still going to need a spacer or something, I think.
Yeah, and I've made a spacer. Here's what I've made for it. It's just a piece of aluminum.
Oh, well, you're ready to go.
Yeah.
Maybe a washer or two and you're ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. The new transmission will hold 11 quarts instead of 7, which is fine, but the dipstick itself from the T-100 is not the correct length. Mike's rebuilt tranny did not come with one, and his attempts to get a new one from Toyota failed, so he resorted to finding a used one. Another issue is with the bell housing bolt hole locations. The T-100 inspection cover on the lower front of the bell housing has 2 of the 4 bolt holes not lining up with the Tundra bell housing. You can easily drill extra holes in the inspection cover, which is what Mike opted to do at this point. So this is the Tundra one, and
Yeah.
the holes are threaded.
Yeah.
And in the T-100, it's they're just smooth, and you have to put a nut and bolt on
Right,
them.
and then instead of having this one down here, it has 2 up here. So it's just like that, only on this side.
So this one
It's not even used.
it's not used, but there's supposed to be 2 here and 2 here.
Right.
So what you had to do is you had to add this one down here onto the flange.
This one.
That one?
Yeah, that other one. That hole is there on the other one, but it does not have anything in it.
Oh, okay. So you just added this one?
Yep.
On the plate.
Yep.
Inspection cover.
Yeah, I drilled that out, and then I drilled the edge of that out too on it. So on the plate to make it fit onto this one.
However, the T-100 bell housing also has some tapped holes for the shift linkage bracket, which are not present on the Tundra's bell housing. So you will either have to drill and tap holes in the newer bell housing or reuse the old bell housing. At this point, Mike decided to swap to the T-100 bell housing. He had already put the extra holes in his inspection cover, but that's okay.
But then I ended up now it's gonna have 2 holes where it doesn't need holes now.
Right, because you wound up swapping the bell housing anyway.
Yeah, swapping the bell housing anyway. So if you just swap the bell housing.
Yeah, you may as well, unless there's something wrong with it or something.
Yeah, you're better off to swap the bell housing. So just figure if you're taking one out of a 98 and you're going to put a 2000 to 2002 in it, swap the bell housing.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of pulling
take the dipstick with you.
Yeah, and make sure you take the dipstick and dipstick tube take all the dipstick stuff that you can off of the...
But if you want to run the Tundra bell housing, you may consider grabbing its matching inspection cover, as well as the dipstick I mentioned earlier. The last issue is with the two speed sensors. Sensor number 1, which is the pickup for the speedometer, absolutely needs to be kept from the T-100 because it uses a mechanical speedometer cable and the Tundra uses a digital VSS. Sensor number 2, which is presumably for the computer and/or cruise control, has a different harness connector. Because of this, you may consider reusing the T-100 sensor. However, the corresponding magnetic sensor rotor on the tail shaft is a different type, so you will need to remove the tail shaft and swap the sensor rotor over as well. A likely alternative is to adapt the wiring harness, or of course grabbing the harness connector from the donor Tundra. However, Mike did not investigate the potential differences between the electronics for the two vehicles, which may not be compatible. The speed sensor wiring pigtail, because you could take that with, if you just cut the wire and take the pigtail with you could use the speed sensor out of it too. As long as it's
pulsing the same amount of pulses and stuff, yeah, that would be the question that I don't know is it a single pulse or is it multiple pulses, because it's a different unit and it goes in the back of the transmission. So I don't know if it's a single pulse or multiple pulses or how it does,
Yeah.
But it's definitely a different pickup. So I just changed the part in the transmission and changed it to the one from the T-100 because I don't know. Otherwise, I would have left this in there, like you said, and I would have tried to get the pigtail. But to me, it didn't make sense to do that because I don't know what it's sending actually to it. Is it sending it one time a revolution, or is it sending it multiple times a revolution?
Yeah. They're both 2-pin though?
Yeah, it's just the pins are in a different spot and it's a different shape.
Yeah. But your new transmission came with one, I think? Or?
Yeah, it came with this on it, yeah.
Okay, so where are holes? Right here?
Yeah, that's your holes for your speed sensors.
That's one of them.
Yeah.
Where's the other one?
Right here.
Oh, right here?
Yeah, so this is the one that
has
there's
a bigger one and a smaller one?
Right, this is the electronic, this is the...
Yeah. There's a bolt roll right there.
That speedometer right there. Yeah, that's the speedometer. If you reach in there, you can actually feel the speedometer go. Okay. And then
the other one is here.
And then for people who are looking for...
Where's the bolt for this one? Oh, that is the bolt for that one. Where the hell's... That's the bolt for that one.
No, the other one doesn't have its bolt. I probably reused it on the other one.
So the other one's bolt is over here? Yeah. Right there.
Oh, that's the other thing, is that it does bolt in a different spot, but it has both bolts on it. It has both holes on it.
Oh, so the other one...
The one for the T-100 goes into here, goes into that bolt hole.
And the one for the Tundra goes in there.
Right.
So, to review, for those wanting to do this swap, we recommend reusing the T-100 bell housing and inspection plate, reusing the T-100 speedo cable assembly, reusing the T-100 secondary speed sensor and sensor rotor, but using the dipstick and dipstick hardware from the Tundra. If you have done this swap and have anything to add, please leave it in the comments for the community. That's it for this video, friends. We'll see you on the next one.